Right. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode. Today I am back on the Southern Stones, back on what I started out doing, what I enjoy the most, rock fishing on the southwest of Western Australia. So today it is really windy, it's terrible weather, but it's the only chance that I've got, and I have to make the most of it. So we're down here today, I'm fishing solo. I feel naked because I've forgotten my life jacket as well. Everything just feels off about today, but I'm still gonna do it anyway. We are fishing off this little rocky point behind me here, and I'm gonna try and catch some Western Blue Groper. Absolutely love these fish. Off the rocks, there is nothing that pulls as hard over short distances. I don't care what anybody says, there is nothing that can pull as hard as one of these trying to reef you, because even on PE10 gear, you just don't stand a chance a lot of the time. It's just brutal fishing, something that I really like. So I'm gonna get set up. We're gonna go jump up on that rock behind me there, and we're gonna go cast over the back with some crabs and try and see if we can pull out a nice blue groper. I really want to get a big one, so like a 20-25 kilo one. That would be absolutely awesome. I don't want to keep one that big, so I'm more than happy to release it. I've got a big rock pool here that I can swim it in and let it go if I need to. It's so windy, but a nice little 6-8 kilo one would be beautiful to take home, because they are great eating as well, and I haven't had any groper in my freezer for over a year now, so it'd be really good to be able to take a small one home. So let's get stuck into it, rig up, get some crabs, and catch us a groper. It is so windy, far out. Right, when setting up to chase these guys, same as I've always said, heaviest gear possible, don't muck around, just fish heavy, fish hard, and get them out of the craziest reef that you'll ever fish into. So I got my Saltist 18,000 here, PE8 Saltiga braid, that breaks at 140 pound, I think it is. I've got the heaviest Spartan, the S85 6 to 8, and that goes down to 200 pound leader. So 200 pound leader. On my 200 pound leader, I got it tied to a 3-way swivel, another short piece of 200 pound down to a hook. Don't mess around with light hooks either. These BKK Beastly Cats 7/0 size, perfect, nice and small to put a crab on, super strong, and you will not straighten them when you've got to pull the hardest you've ever pulled on a fish before when you hook a big one. And then a little piece of light leader down to your sinker. So I'm using 8 ounce today because it's so windy and really rough. I can't feel anything that's going on. Sometimes you can use 6s, sometimes you can use unweighted, but today I'm using 8 ounce. Light piece of leader down to it, and that's it. Chuck a crab on your hook, cast it out, wait, and just hold on and hope you hook something really big, and then hope you can stop it. Let's get into it. Baby, whoa, he's going nuts. Give me that later. Woo. Okay, little one. Woo. Baby groper. Beautiful little one on the crab. It's so windy. Oh. Well, Okay. This little one. Oh no. Oh, he's ended up down there. Well, I was trying to be nice and let him go, and I was going to drop him in the water over here, but he's kicked and slipped out of my hands and gone down there, and he's disappeared. So he would have swam back out. Yeah, he's not down there. Oh well, he's out. Oh. Leaders on the rock. Oh. Oh. That's not bad. Okay. Oh, it's not bad at all. Oh, it's not a bad one. Oh, don't go down there. Oh no. Yes. No. Yes. Oh man. Woo. Finally got a fish. Oh, what a mission that was. Heavy, heavy. Okay, let's go hold this guy up. Yes. Oh. Woo. Settle down. Woohoo! Yeah. Lovely groper. That's all we wanted. That's a perfect size for me to take home and eat as well. I wanted one about this sort of 6-8 kilo size. Even on PE10 100-pound gear, this thing gave me real grief trying to get around all of those rocks. Whew, so happy. Woohoo! I'm gonna pack up now. I've been through those crabs, but there was a couple of waves that I had come up that made me a little bit nervous, and because I've forgotten my life jacket, I feel weird enough as it is not wearing it, because I can't go on the rocks without wearing one. If I'm rock fishing, I'm wearing my life jacket. And just a lapse of memory, when packing my my bag when I left Perth a couple of days ago, I just completely forgot about them, and now I just feel completely weird without it. So it's yeah, I've had a couple of waves come up, and just the way that they sort of came over some of the rocks made me a little bit nervous, a bit bigger than some of the others. It's really, really hard as well when it's windy, because the swell will sit on top, the seas will sit on top of the swell and make waves seem bigger than they are. It's so windy, and it just, yeah, it makes it very difficult. It makes me a little bit nervous with the way that the rocks are and things like that. So last thing I want is getting washed in on my own without a life jacket and no one here to help me, because I'm more than an hour and a half from my car where I've walked to come here. So I thought I'd take this little bit of time right now while I'm packing up, just to show you some of the things we're looking for in rock fishing. Just some little bits and pieces just to keep you safe while fishing on the rocks. So where I've set my stuff up, it's all dry, there's no wet rocks. I'm a long way away from the water, so I don't end up setting up, like down there is all dry as well, but it's too close to the water. If something was to go wrong, all my stuff's gonna get washed in, and that's not what I want. So set your stuff up well away from the edge of the water. All of these rocks here are nice and clean, but if you come over, we'll walk over here a bit. So all this is dry, it's nice and safe to walk on, it's really easy. All of this as well is all good. This stuff is not. So while it's dry, it's quite grippy, and I've got nice grip with my shoes. So I wear a pair of hiking boots, but it's nice and grippy when it's dry. When it gets wet, I'll take you to some over here. This is what we call black death, this stuff. When it gets wet, it is so slippery. So if I walked along what I'm standing on right now and it was wet, I would slip, and that's sloping. I just continue the whole way, all the way into the water down there. There wouldn't be much that would stop me. So especially if I slipped from there, I'd slide the whole way in, I wouldn't be able to stop, and I'd be in the water, and there's nothing I can do about it. So these sloping granite rocks are really dangerous when it comes to that sort of stuff. Let's find some of the slippery, wet bits over here. So you can see all this rock is all covered in this black moss, and it's super slippery. All right, so I've got something I'm standing on that's nice and flat, but if I was to wet my shoes even, it's so slippery. I can't even, that's now that slippery that I can't keep my grip or my balance on that. And that's just by wetting my shoes. So you can imagine when it's completely soaked and had waves coming up, it is so slick and you're gonna fall over, or in this case, you'd slide and you'd end up down there somewhere. So big sloping black granite rocks, bad, stay away from them, don't go standing near them. Watch the ocean from where you're fishing. So I was fishing up there, nice and safe, no problems at all. Sorry, this audio is going to be terrible, it's so windy. So I was standing up there fishing into that calmer bit there. So I've got that furthest point as well to break the waves up before they get to me. So if I do get any big waves, they're going to get broken up by the stuff right over the back before it comes to me. I'm not in the first spot that's going to cop like a big wave that was to come through or something like that. So I'm out of the line of the swell, I'm out of the wind. The wind's much worse and rougher around the corner there, but where I am, it's not too bad. There's not a heap of wind chop. I'm in a little pocket. Still windy, but fishable. But you can see, here's a big swell here coming through. So this one's quite small, but this next one behind it, it's picking up there. That's one of the biggest waves I've seen today. Look at that. Quite a big wave, the one behind it here as well. So there's a lot of things that have gone into thought about where I'm fishing and how I'm going to fish it. So I've checked the weather report today. The swell is low enough to fish it. I've got a diary where I fished this spot previously, and when I fished this spot in the past, I fished it in a 1.7 meter swell, is the largest that I've ever fished it, and that was, I've written that note down as borderline unfishable and unsafe in a southwest swell at 1.7 meters. I've put notes in my diary saying that I need a more southerly swell, so the more southerly or easterly the swell direction, the calmer this is going to be. Notes about the wind, things like that. So today wasn't just a random, I've looked at the weather, oh that'd be good to come and have a look over here. I fished this previously, I've taken notes on the conditions that I've fished it in before, and put notes about what I think would be the roughest that this could be safely fished in. So when I come to a spot like this, I already know what conditions it needs to be able to fish it, because I've done it before. Now you might think, oh yeah, I can remember, but you can't. When you've got a couple of hundred spots or even 20 spots, you can't remember what the weather was every single time that you went to each one of those spots. So writing a diary is more of a safety thing than fishing sort of thing. I've started rewriting my diary, including all of the fishing information, the tide, moon, all that sort of stuff to find patterns, but the safety aspect is what started it, and it really helps massively to know what's safe, what's not, where you can fish in certain conditions and where you can't. So things like that certainly help make rock fishing a lot safer, and I feel like it's something that a lot more people should do. I know a lot of people that are serious about this definitely do. So that's just a little bit of a rundown on what I sort of go through when picking a spot, how I know that I'm going to be safe to fish it. Not necessarily whether there's going to be any fish there or not. Today, no big fish, just a couple of smaller ones. That's fine. I could continue fishing, but I feel like I'm happy with that, and that's going to completely do me for today. Don't really need anything more. I've got one fish that I wanted to take home, and we've let a little one go. Would have liked to have got a really big one and landed it and let it go, but I'm quite happy not to, and come back another time and try it. And yeah, a little bit of a rundown on how I picked this spot and why I know that it would be safe to fish, and the things that I'm sort of looking for, and little bits and pieces like that. Bit of safety sort of stuff when it comes to this rocks. I know I'm being unsafe today, and I'm going to get absolutely grilled for it for not wearing my life jacket. The old practice what you preach thing, and the day that I decide to give a bit of a run through on my rock fishing safety sort of stuff, and I'm not wearing my #1 safety bit, which is my life jacket off the rocks. But it is what it is. I can't do anything about it. I like to show the good and the bad, and I'm human too. I forget things, and just like that, I've forgotten it as well. But I've still made sure that I'm doing the right things. It's all safe. The life jacket's a last resort. Don't rely on it as, oh, I've got a life jacket on, it's all good. You shouldn't need to use it. I've never used my life jacket, and I really hope that I never do. But if I ever get in a situation where I might need it, it's there. I'd rather have it than not. So hopefully I never get to use it, but it's there. It'll be there when I do one day. All right, I'm gonna pack up. That's enough blabbing. I'm sure you guys are sick of me talking already. I'm sick of talking. I'm gonna pack all my stuff up. We're gonna go sort my fish out, carry it out of here. Let's get back to the car. Good little afternoon session on a couple of groper, and it's good to be back on the rocks. Oh, I can't wait. Big summer of rock fishing just like this coming up, and we're gonna get it stuck into some good fish. Stay tuned, everyone.